National Congress, I've been part of National Congress for X amount of years, and we'd always talk about principal partnerships, building communities, strengthening, and all of that kind of stuff that sounds real good. So my challenge to National Congress is let's try to put it into action. Here, I've been, just rolling along, picking up pieces from here and there, about what we can do, and how to go in and really work a community. Let's take some of that leadership development and put it into actual people who are, minority area and low income and all of that stuff, and let's see if we can make a partnership. What's good about National Congress is that there's a lot of resources that was available within the group that we didn't necessarily have. And right now we have students from Columbia, students from City, students from China, and the resource that we've been able to have has like really helped us along the way. Some of the things we are going to do, but it's really nice to have somebody else who has a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more experience to help and guide us with, some of the things that we need. So I think the partnership on the whole has been good. It's just a long process because the Housing Authority structure is just not made for us to be successful. I look at the Housing Authority as being our pimps because that's the only way I can really look at it right now. And they pimp us along, they get $100,000 and they give us $9. The administration, the bureaucracy is just really crazy, and public housing residents were never set up to be anything else other than, something that they could use. We're kicked around constantly. Lots of money comes into public housing from HUD, but yet we're not involved in it or can even make decisions that benefit our own developments. It's nice for National Congress to be around because here we have Ronnie, who's in Washington, and she's 2 blocks away from HUD, and it's nice to be able to call Ronnie and say, Ronnie, can you do this for us? Can you deliver that for us? I mean, ordinarily we wouldn't be able to have done that. She's a lawyer.
In fact, that's a good topic right there, is that because she was right there, she went over to HUD and found out about the tenant opportunity top money. It's called the Tenant Opportunity Program.
Right.
Program money, and New York City Housing Authority wasn't letting anybody know about this money. They did not want tenant groups in New York to apply for it.
Right.
So the fact that Ronnie went over there and talked to Leonard Clay, who I've known way back to the Civil Rights Movement, we were able to find out about a piece of money, and because of that, we wrote the grant from Neighborhood Women and James Weldon Johnson together wrote the grant. And the four other additional public housing complexes here now have each gotten $100,000. So we've expanded now the coalition in East Harlem of tenant groups that have independent money. So that's no small thing. And so the principal partnership is that and I think that there is a principal partnership, is that first of all, Ethel and I allied with each other, and other people, just personally, that we worked, which took a very long time. Years of time, but we worked out what it would mean for me, what it would mean to her. I think we've modeled that, and I think that other people have come in from Neighborhood Women and James Weldon Johnson have seen that. We have, I'm here to
talk a little bit more about that. Like, what is it that you had? Like, you're saying it took a long time.
Well,
it didn't happen right away.
Well, I came here. I mean, I'm a leader in my own neighborhood, right? I mean, I work in Williamsburg. It's been my base. So in that neighborhood, I'm a leader. When I came over to her neighborhood, right, I came in as a support person, basically.
But even before that, I think we had to get over the class and all of that other kind of stuff before you could even come into the neighborhood,
right,
because it had to be a trust that was built. I mean, here she is, a white woman coming into Harlem, and I knew I was going to get a lot of flack from people because, they're going to say, well, there's nobody else out there, there's no black people out there that you could deal with. So I had to deal with that part of it, but I trusted her enough after being around her for years and knowing that she was an honorable person. And dealing with that, I knew it would be okay for her to come into our community. And we would still, we don't agree on everything. We don't agree on too much. But
And I think,
we do have the same values, I think, pretty much, and we want the same thing for communities. So across all of that, we were able to focus on something that was going to be best for the both.
and I have to make sure, I mean, when you're talking, anytime you're crossing race, I'm not gonna play the nun role,
What does
role,
that mean?
like you're so lucky to be in this black community, you can work all the time and you're totally invisible and you don't have a right to have your own opinions, that whatever she says, I gotta agree with it because otherwise I'm racist, I gotta get along and I don't wanna do this, otherwise I'm racist, we had to go through, I think, that depth of what that meant, because I was not going to be used either, that it was a two-part empowerment thing. I wanted to understand, she challenged me enough about what would it take for me to do what I was doing in Williamsburg someplace else, that I thought it was an important challenge of what she gave, and I already trusted her as a leader, because I wasn't going to work with anybody who wasn't honorable in their own neighborhood. And there's a lot of people that are community leaders, as much as we romanticize it, we know that everybody doesn't carry the same ethics and values. And from my point of view, when a leader like Ethel, and I think like myself in Williamsburg too, is that when a leader like her opens up the door, the reason that Eva can, it's much easier for me to make a relationship with Eva and everybody else because Ethel said I'm okay. That doesn't mean she might not go through all this. Right, but that's a big gift. People forget that when they come into an area, that when you talk about the partnership, outside people can't just walk in. They can do it, and they may think that they're doing something in the neighborhood, but mostly the people are doing this to them. They're there and they're just waiting for them to be gone. Come in, right? They're there today, here today, gone tomorrow. We've seen enough of those. I mean, it's really a big gift. So, I mean, we talk about giving. I mean, there's a very mutual, neighborhood women, people cannot work in somebody else's neighborhood unless there's somebody there that's really saying, come on in.